proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Waging War on Corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Dr. Paul Craig Roberts is our guest. He, of course, is the author of the latest story the Drudge Report picked up from Infowars.com, The Ecstasy of Empire. And at the end of the article, you can link through at Amazon.com and get the powerful book, How the Economy Was Lost, The War of the Worlds. It details how this country is, why this country is disintegrating. Okay, Dr. Roberts, you were getting into the third way they plan to finance all of this to the point of no return. Go ahead.
All right, it's the Greek crisis. You know, the Greeks got heavily in debt, and so the New York investment banks and the hedge funds, made a run on them, caused the Greek crisis, and then the New York investment banks and hedge funds multiplied the Greek crisis into the Euro crisis, and the financial press, of course, became an adjunct to the Treasury's financing needs, and they spread all over that, the euro is going, the euro won't last. And the euro collapsed dramatically against the dollar. Well, this caused all kinds of individuals and foreign central banks who had been holding euros as reserves, as an alternative to the dollar, to flee the euro and flee into the dollar. That means buying Treasury bonds. So the United States government was able to use its private financial apparatus to finance its deficit by drawing funds out of Europe.
But you said at the time it wouldn't last, and it didn't.
No, it doesn't. But you see, they may next start on Spain and Ireland and Portugal. So they can keep it going, and as long as they have some country in the EU that's sufficiently indebted that the financial press can create the image of a disaster, and that the hedge funds and the investment banks can make money by shorting or driving down. So as long as they can produce these flights of fear from other countries' holdings and from other currencies into the dollar, they can keep this going. But of course, it is limited. It can't go on forever. And so what I think the way they're playing this game is that the decline of the United States will be sudden, because the minute there's no longer any way to finance the deficit, it means they have to print the money. The minute they do that, the dollar is no longer the reserve currency.
What about China? I see them hyping that China is going to have a depression, and I see them talking about trying to manipulate China, but China's our biggest holder, and I've seen China getting angry, devaluing U.S. treasuries and EU treasuries in the last month.
Well, that's correct, and today there's an article on Global Research about we keep trying to provoke them militarily, and we're making them very angry. If you think about the behavior of the United States government, it is irrational. It does look to be desperate. I don't think they would succeed in driving assets out of China into the United States. I don't think that's possible. But who knows? Nevertheless, when they no longer can produce a flow into dollars or into U.S. Treasury bonds out of some fear or some hyped crisis, that's when the financing problem hits, and that's when the dollar ceases to be the reserve currency. And the minute that happens, we can't pay our import bill. And so the supply of goods and services into the United States from abroad are greatly curtailed. And this, of course, includes petroleum.
Dr. Roberts, we've got one more segment with you. You've been very gracious to give us your expertise and, of course, your great articles that we're posting at Infowars.com. We're going to come back and talk about this desperate game they're playing, and they are trying to start a war with China, and they're not Iraq. They're not Iran. We'll talk about that straight ahead with Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. Stay with us.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5-Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. Call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs Generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs Generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs Generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs Generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
That's right, you found it, the real deal. Patriots defending the Republic, the free market, our Bill of Rights and Constitution. This is the tip of the spear in the battle for the Republic. Thank you for joining us. The reason we're having so much success at waking people up worldwide is because you're spreading the word about the radio broadcast, the films, our guest, the information we cover. Don't forget the free iPhone app. Even if you don't have an iPhone, you can send it to friends and family that do, where they can listen how they want, when they want, and there's the free podcast at Infowars.com. We're talking to Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, and he was getting into all these news stories saying China wants to attack the U.S. China's our enemy. We've got to get ready. They may attack us. It's in the Associated Press today that the Pentagon says China may launch an attack. Now they're al-Qaeda. After these very same corporate globalists had tax incentives and everything they could to move everything offshore, not for free trade, but to cannibalize our economy. Now, more and more, we've got to go into Pakistan. We've got to attack Iran. Bolton says 8 days. And now he says 3 days in the Jerusalem Post. We've got to have war with Syria. We've got to do it. The media says Al-Qaeda's about to hit, and Obama's going to have to take your rights. We can really see them playing the false flag card. I had former top-level CIA analyst David MacMichael on earlier, and he agreed. He said, we are in the prime danger of the government staging a terror attack. So Dr. Roberts speaking about Iran, China, all of this, and the method to their madness, but they're now trying to pick fights with people that have hundreds, if not thousands, of nuclear weapons. Pakistan's got more than 20 with medium-range delivery systems. China's got conservatively 2,000. I mean, these people may end the world. I mean, look at Cheney launching the attack through the proxy Georgia against the Russian-held South Ossetia and Abkhazia. I mean, you know, they really are lunatics.
Exactly, they're lunatics. Dangerous lunatics, and they're playing all the fear cards. It's just like George Orwell's 1984, Big Brother. There are wars everywhere, or at least the people are told there are. You never really know in the book whether those wars exist or they're just propaganda to keep the people under control. But they're lunatics. That's exactly the case. Alex, let me add, I left out one other way they can keep this financing of the deficit going for another year, and that is they can confiscate part of our remaining private pensions on the grounds that they are accumulating tax-free and that they shouldn't be tax-free. So they can do that. Also, they could require the pension fund managers to use our pensions to purchase treasury bonds. So that's another financing means they have that I suspect they will resort to as they get more desperate.
Well, to interrupt, you said that here on this show 3 years ago. It's now, Bloomberg admits 3 months ago that the feds are ordering private pension funds to, quote, invest in failed banks. The Chicago Tribune said, the state has changed the law, and they gave the subsection, I read it on air yesterday, where the state doesn't have to give state workers their pension. I mean, if they try that, you talk about a recipe for revolution.
Yes, it's more of the let them eat cake. If you look at people whose pensions were hurt by the dot-com bubble, by the real estate bubble, by the subprime derivative bubble, they haven't got that much left. So if they come in and levy a tax on the pensions on the grounds that they haven't been taxed, or they require the pension fund managers to use the pensions to buy worthless government paper, that's more provocation and more reason that I think Salenti's point that when people have nothing left to lose, they lose it. And that's generally when you get a revolution. Now, to get back to your point, I really don't think the United States military wants to have a war with Iran. They certainly don't want to have one with China. The people pushing this are the neoconservatives who have this sort of empire ideology. They're totally unrealistic. We haven't the resources for an empire. And the military security complex. They push it because of the profits on the munitions and the warplanes and everything else. And, of course, they're related to the Pentagon. But the generals themselves, or at least most of them, have, I think, too much sense. And they've not been very supportive of the notion of attacking Iran. If you notice carefully statements of the top generals, you don't find a whole lot of support.
Yeah, Mullen has even told the Israelis it's nuts. Fox Fallon refused and resigned 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So it's incredible.
So they certainly won't want to start anything with China. It's not clear to me that China would even have to fight, that they could probably defeat us just by dumping their $2 trillion worth of U.S. assets, because that would be the end of the dollar.
So what do you see in closing as the final bubble to pop? I mean, are you saying it's going to be the Treasury note bubble?
The final bubble to pop is when they cannot finance the government deficit except by printing money. Now,